Hello, everyone. There's been a lot of debate recently about cricket pitches, particularly the pitch in Melbourne. And when the ICC formally describes a pitch as unsatisfactory, it will start a debate and some controversy. But let's look beyond the headlines and the blame game. Let's step back and ask a much more fundamental question. What exactly do we mean by a good cricketing wicket? Because for me, and for many who grew up watching and loving Test cricket, the answer has always been pretty clear. A good pitch isn't one that dominates the game. The pitch shouldn't be the talking point, and it certainly isn't one that is designed to manufacture a result. Look, a good pitch is one that provides a fair contest between bat and ball, and crucially, one that evolves naturally over 5 days. Now, traditionally, a good cricket wicket has always been about balance. And in my personal view, that balance is probably around 60-40 in favor of the batter over the course of a test match. And at the highest level, that doesn't mean easy batting, it means rewarding skill. So, on day one, especially in the first session, the pitch should offer something to the fast bowlers, a bit of seam movement carried through to the wicketkeeper, enough assistance to reward good line, length and disciplined, accurate fast bowling. That early help keeps the opening batters watchful, attentive and honest, if you know what I mean by honest, and which is why an opening batter is a very specialized position. But after that initial period of 2 to 3 hours, the pitch should slowly begin to settle. That's phase 2. As the hardness evens out, batting becomes a little easier and reliable, and that's when both batting and bowling technique, patience, temperament really comes into play. This is how a test match is supposed to start breathing. Now, one of the great beauties of Test cricket, and which is why it is so different from any other sport, is that the pitch is not static. It creates a script and a story over the course of the match. Now, day 2 and 3 are traditionally the heart of the match. The playing surface is at its most balanced. Bowlers need to work hard for wickets and batsmen need to apply themselves, and skill is rewarded. Day 4 of the test is where subtle deterioration should start to appear in the pitch. Footmarks become pronounced. The odd ball starts gripping. Spinners start to feel genuinely involved. Not because the pitch is extreme, but because it has started to show signs of wear and tear. Now, day 5 is where character and mental toughness is tested. Cracks open up on the pitch. The bounce may become a little variable, so you have to watch it. Shot selection becomes important, and by then survival becomes an art and it requires skill. Look, it's like life. The pitch has become old and needs to be cared for and treated differently. It's no longer a 20-year-old, it's now an 80-year-old. Okay? Now, this gradual evolution over 5 days is what creates drama, tension and meaning in Test cricket. Look, if a ball starts turning square on day 1 and you open your attack with 2 spinners, that is not the spirit of Test cricket. You have manufactured a pitch to suit your specific requirements. Yes, this may get you the result that you wanted, but it's not how cricket was meant to be played. Now, of course, remember that a pitch never exists in isolation. Weather is also an integral part of cricket. Cloudy or overcast conditions help swing bowlers. Bright sunshine hardens the surface and improves carry and generally favors batting. The wind, strength and direction influence movement through the air, which is exploited by skilled seamers and swing bowlers. Look, even moisture plays a role. A slightly damp pitch behaves very differently from a dry one, and that is another technical feature of Test cricket. And of course, cricket was never meant to be played on identical surfaces around the world. Local conditions do matter, and they always have, which is why playing at Lord's is so different from playing in Sabina Park or in Melbourne. Now, I want to share a personal fond memory. In 1974, as a young boy, I was at Lord's for the second test on the fourth day when Derek Underwood took 8 for 51 against Pakistan on a drying wicket. Look, I had a perfect view behind Derek's arm at the end from which he was bowling. And what I saw that day was fascinating. And I just couldn't keep my eyes off the way Derek Underwood was bowling. It seemed that there were two matches going on. One when Derek Underwood was bowling and one when the other bowlers were bowling. My goodness, what a difference! On that drying surface, Underwood was completely unplayable, but the other bowlers were not. In Derek's hands, the ball gripped, skidded, turned sharply, behaved differently from one delivery to the next. The batters were completely at sea. This was real, skillful spin bowling. Bowling on a drying wicket is an art, one that Derek Underwood had mastered, but many similar bowlers had not. And batting under those conditions required phenomenal technique, improvisation, adaptability, and what else? Intelligence. And this is what makes Test cricket a game of glorious uncertainties. Look, a sudden rain shower can change the entire course of a match. Nature also plays a role, openly and honestly, and fairly, without any prejudice. And players have to respond accordingly. Look, that uncertainty is also part and parcel of the excitement and makes genuine Test cricket what it is. Now today, the problem isn't that pitches are challenging. The problem is that too many pitches are being engineered and doctored to achieve specific outcomes. Look, there are over-prepared green pitches that end Test matches in 2 days because of the lack of the necessary skill in current day batters who don't know how to cope. There are excessive dry and turning surfaces where spinners dominate from day one and sometimes from over one, which is ridiculous. And then there are flat batting tracks designed purely for TV-friendly high-scoring matches, which again doesn't make sense. And when these things start to happen, the pitch becomes the main character, not the players. And that's when the ICC feels compelled to intervene with pitch ratings, warnings and sanctions, as we've seen. But we know that regulation alone won't fix the issue because there are competing interests and objectives which are not always solely cricketing based. So, to summarize, in my view, the best playing surface is the traditional cricket pitch, a pitch that evolves naturally over 5 days. It obviously reflects local conditions and it should reward skill, patience and adaptability by both the bowler and the batter. And it should allow nature to play its natural role. So, cricket doesn't need to have doctored pitches to be compelling. It needs honest, fair pitches. Because when a pitch is fair and balanced, when it creates and tells a story, Test cricket becomes what it has always meant to be. A test of skill, temperament, uncertainty and intelligence. And that, my friends and fellow cricket fans, is something worth preserving. What do you think? Till next time.